Hey guys, Ash Lane here, really excited to bring you another Beyond the Sneak Peek, this time with special guest GALADON. I met GALADON in Finland, and we really connected well. Both have a real strong passion for the game, obviously, and he was kind enough to join me to give his takes on YouTube, ClashCon, future of Clan War tournaments, and of course, talking update, including farming and Town Hall 11. So guys, stay tuned and enjoy. All right, guys, so I am joined today by GALADON. GALADON, what's up, man?
Hey, Ash, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Really excited to have you on. I got to meet you in Finland for ClashCon, and
yeah.
I definitely, I think we clicked pretty well. I mean, maybe it's an age thing, but...
The more senior crew. No, hey, senior, but no, yeah, it was a great time. It was good to finally get a chance to meet you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I've been having a bunch of YouTubers on, and really happy to have you to talk update, and also I wanted to get your thoughts on ClashCon, Clan Wars, stuff like that too, because there's a lot to talk about. So let's just jump right in. I think I'm curious to know, and I think a lot of the listeners will be curious to know a little bit more about this GALADON guy. Do you mind sharing a little bit of maybe like your gaming history or kind of how you got into YouTube before we get on to the other topics?
Well, I mean, you know, it's funny because I always say I grew up in the sweet spot for video games. It's like when I was younger, the Atari 2600 had just come out. I mean, that kind of shows my age. But I mean, I grew up in the glory age of video games. And so it's like as a teenager, I'm playing Asteroids and Missile Command. And you know, as video games grew, so did I. And so they've always kind of been around me my whole life. So when, you know, Clash came around and the YouTube thing came around, it just kind of was a natural progression. I kind of fell backwards into YouTube. It was a brand new Town Hall 10, I think it was at the time. Town Hall 10 had just recently come out, and I was trying to learn more like high-level strategies. Went to YouTube and I saw, you know, Chief Pat doing goblin maps and Daddy doing balloon attacks and Godson doing stuff that was just funny. Yeah. But I couldn't really see what I was looking for at the time, which was like end game, like high-level stuff.
Yeah.
And so I made a few videos just like for me and the clan, and it just grew from there, and it's been crazy.
Yeah, that's actually, you know, you are one of the channels I kind of modeled mine off of, because I think that's how so many YouTube channels start, right? Is that we kind of see something that we kind of like, and you were kind of my style, because like you just kind of hit the nail on the head there. I was looking for that high strategy content, and you were one of the only guys providing it when I got into the game, you know, almost 3 years ago now, or 2.5 years ago, whatever it was. You were just, so I discovered you, really a big fan, and it's kind of full circle now. But were you playing any game before Clash of Clans? Like, did you have ever this kind of exposure or addiction to any other game, or?
Well, I did play a lot of World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I had, you know, 2 maxed out, like level 85 characters, did a lot of 25-man raids.
Nice.
That, you know, that just took up so much time though, and so many hours of my life consumed. Even before that, I was playing EverQuest.
That's my big game, man.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved EverQuest. Had a great time with that, and just kind of played it out. And honestly, some of those 25-man raids in World of Warcraft just burned me out.
Yeah.
And it was taking up too much of my evenings with the raiding. I wanted something that I could play more on my own time. Which is kind of a funny joke now because Clash starts out that way, but it doesn't end up that way.
I know.
That's one of the reasons I'm excited about the update is the fact that we're looking at the potential for more manageable shield times and playing time.
Yeah, it's a great point and a great transition, because you're totally right. It's just like everybody who starts Clash thinks, oh, this is a benign game that I can casually play, and then it sucks you in, you know?
It can. I mean, it can. And obviously, it depends upon your style. I mean, it seems like there's 3 camps. There's the farmers from serious to hardcore, and the same with Clan War and trophy pushers. And some people are parts of all 3. And specifically trophy pushing, I think, is probably the worst for long play times.
Yeah, and you're really close to Legends, right?
I've gotten pretty close. Yeah, I finally broke 4,900 this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's funny though. It's just in time for the update, so who knows?
Yeah.
I dread what's about to happen. If I go out on an attack, I'll probably run into like a gemmed out Town Hall 11 and get annihilated. Or
well, speaking of gemmed out Town Hall 11s, do you want to just? I think it's a good time probably to share with folks what you will be doing on Camcord, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I've been streaming a lot on Camcord lately, and I'm excited about it, but I have mixed emotions because there's so much to the reward of grinding stuff out. And you know, I did that a lot on GALADON up till Town Hall 10. Like he was farmed up through Town Hall 9, but then once Town Hall 10 came, I got the champion bug in me. Things kind of changed.
Yeah.
I've got Galladon, the Town Hall 8. He's all farmed out. He's almost max Town Hall 8. And like getting my Barbarian King with him, so much fun. Finally getting him to level 5. I was like, yes, Iron Fist. And so I feel like I'm going to miss out on a little bit of that with the new update. But my channel has grown to the point that I know that viewers almost demand to see the new high-end content immediately. And so I'm going to have that Camcord stream the day that Town Hall 11 comes out. I'll try to stream like as soon as the update goes live.
Awesome.
Hop on there, and yeah, I'm gonna. I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but I'm gonna gem the entire update. Every single thing is gonna get done. All the defenses, and of course the Grand Warden to level 20.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's kind of bittersweet in a way because it's just boom. It's like getting all your presents in one shebang on Christmas morning, rather than the kid who gets to go to like multiple families or something. But I've done the same thing on my channel for the last couple updates, but this is certainly bigger than those previous ones. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but the hero that we saw today is going to be awfully tempting not to just max out.
Yeah, he's going to be exciting, and I think it'll be pretty significant, the difference that he is between level 5 and level 20.
Yeah, it's going to be tempting, man. It's going to be tempting. Well, before we get too much into the update, I did want to rewind a little bit and get your thoughts on ClashCon and specifically the Clan War tournaments, because obviously you are the one half of the coasting team with Chief Pat, and I figured no better guy than to comment on what you feel about the quality, caliber, and format of the Clan War tournaments than yourself. So, handing it to you.
Cool. Well, thanks, Ash. I mean, yeah, that was a huge privilege, a huge honor to be able to do that, to work with Chief Pat and to broadcast those Clan War tournaments. And I feel like each one has gotten progressively better. And it's almost like this alpha testing stage for Clan War tournaments. Now, Supercell hasn't said anything like this is definitely going into the game. But as we've seen it go from, we had Nordic Clash, Finnish Clash, the Korean, the Tokyo Game Show, there was a progression. There's been an evolution of Clan Wars just in those broadcasts. And so I feel like we're getting closer to something that could be in the game. I know that a lot of War players are super disappointed because, and I see it too, there's not a lot in it for War players right now, and there's a lot wrong with War right now. And I talked to Jonas about that last week, and he agreed. And in the interview I had with him, he actually said that Clan Wars was going to be on the forefront of all of their topics of conversation after this update. This update has really been focused on these huge shield changes. I feel like there was something in the game that had to be changed. And it sounds like I'm hopeful that this is the right way to do it. Again, I'm not one to say, I don't think in any of my videos you heard me say, this is going to be the best update ever. I'm excited. Of course I'm excited because new content is always exciting. But I'm reserving judgment on what this update brings until we've all had a chance to play it. But as Clan Wars are concerned, I'm excited about the idea that that's something they're focusing on next. And there is a lot that can be done there. And I think that they've learned a lot from these live streams that we did and the feedback that has come from Clashers in general and at ClashCon, so that they can improve on that. And then hopefully at some point, something like that gets inserted to the game along with changes, better war balancing, more exciting system for Clan War tournaments. And also, I think there really needs to be an independent, objective way to rank war skill. I don't think just strictly clan level is doing it. I think there needs to be something else, more of almost like an arena style ranking, so you can really get a good idea of what players are really skilled, because that was one of the shortcomings in our streams was we had these great Clan War tournaments, but we didn't necessarily have the best Clan War players, and I think anybody could see that. Some were better than others. We had some pretty solid players. I mean,
Yeah.
China was pretty dominant.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think that there was a lot of players, sorry, that were left out that would be very, very eager to get into a format like that.
yeah, I saw, it's funny because one thing I personally thought, I'm interested to hear if you agree or disagree, but the attackers, a lot of the players there, I don't think that the format suited them perfectly. Obviously, the narrow time is one thing to plan a raid. That was one factor, but another factor is that the whole system that they had to attack, three at a time essentially. It doesn't really allow you to be more aggressive in your strategy. Like there wasn't a strong need in most cases to have to try to 3-star Town Hall 10s. A lot of the times, better safe bet. And for most of the wars, I felt like I know a lot of those China guys, for example, they routinely 3-star in regular game. So I'm not sure if the opportunity was there. Is that something that you kind of agree with, or as far as the format goes?
Yeah, I mean, I really do like the idea of a shorter prep time. I like the pressure that it puts on players to have to focus. They don't have a chance to, to prepare for 24 hours. I think that that's going to help fix a lot of things. But also, I mean, I saw that there were a lot of Town Hall 10 players that had been playing maxed out Town Hall 10s for a long time, and they were suddenly told, all right, you're going to be a Town Hall 9.
Yeah.
And so now you're not getting the most skilled Town Hall 9 war players who can 3-star most bases on a regular basis. And these guys, they're good at Town Hall 10s. And Pat and I kind of predicted it. We didn't expect to see maxed out Town Hall 10s getting 3-starred. And I don't think we ever did see that. I think it's going to be a while if we ever do see that, unless the balance changes. And that's something else that should be interesting to see in the future update. Right now, Town Hall 9 has definitely been the sweet spot. It's kind of like that. It just seems so balanced. It's the skill level can get you to a 3-star, but it's not easy. And Town Hall 8 maybe a little bit too easy. Town Hall 7 way too easy. Town Hall 9 maybe too hard. So with this evolution, with the introduction of Town Hall 11, the addition of 30 seconds, the freeze spell, I've even had Town Hall 9 players saying, we didn't need that. We don't need 30 more seconds because a skilled player at Town Hall 9 can finish the 3-star in 3 minutes and doesn't need 330, doesn't need a freeze spell. So I don't know what's going to change. And again, that's why I'm just kind of holding my breath and waiting to see what it looks like on the other side of the update.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I mean, the freeze spell, I think it helps, but I don't think it makes things overpowered because, I think what it does, in my opinion, and we'll have to see, obviously, this is total speculation, and part of me feels irresponsible even saying it, but you can't help but to speculate at the same time. And I think it just gives them a tool to be able to hit Town Hall 10s, especially even farming, which is something that, more hardcore war or pushing-oriented people don't even really think about too often, but going against a Town Hall 10 with Inferno Towers, with like a Lavalunian army, certainly helpful,
Absolutely. And I definitely see that. And especially because I feel like another good spot in Clan Wars is mixed Town Hall clans. 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, rather than just all 10s. And if you do that, then definitely it's exciting to have the free spill in there because now some of your extra Town Hall 9 attacks can go for that 2nd star on a Town Hall 10.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of I mean, from your perspective, from Lost Phoenix, this is going to be the first time in the history of Clan Wars that you've had 2 Town Hall levels, right?
Right, and I'm sure that Lost Phoenix will migrate to an all Town Hall 11 clan, just because we're not primarily Clan War, we're primarily trophies.
Yes.
So we've talked about it already in Clan, there'll be a gradual requirement, a gradual migration of players down to some of our feeders that don't necessarily go 11 as quickly, because I've fear, just like I've seen in the questions in social media, there is going to be a kind of an absolute trophy limit for a Town Hall 10 player to reach. Can a Town Hall 10 reach Legends after this update and reasonably stay there? Maybe, maybe not. It's so hard to tell with so many changes. This whole 6 trophy minimum idea.
Yeah.
Can a maxed out Town Hall 11 easily 3-star a 10? Or will it be hard?
Yeah.
And what will the trophy offers look like? What will the clouds look like? There's so many unknowns, and it's funny because it's in all different camps. Trophy pushing, so many unknowns. War, absolutely. Even with the minimal changes happening to war right now, there are going to be some changes that people will be curious about. And then, of course, farming, the big one. What's going to happen to farming with this update? And I keep going back to these guys are these programmers, and it's like, what, 10 guys? I mean, it's such a small team.
Insane.
Yeah, these guys made this game the #1 game in the world for the past 2 years. I don't think they want to go back on the unemployment line, look for another job because they destroyed Clash.
Yeah,
it's just, I put my trust into them.
And like this is just true, and it's obvious to a certain extent too. But they're so smart, like it's not like these guys are just, when you just talk to them, it's just like, okay, they see things on a different level, and obviously that's expected because they're programming it all, but at the same time, it's just like, they wrap their head around everything for a year.
Exactly.
We've been digesting it for a week,
Exactly. And it's funny, just like in society, we throw around the word genius so loosely. Oh, he's a genius. She's a genius. No. I'm telling you, these guys have like 160, 180 IQs. They are geniuses, literally, and I'm using the word literally correctly. I mean, these guys are sharp, and it's like why every update people go, Galadon, what do you want to see in the next update? What do you think they're going to come up with? And I'm just to the point now where I throw my hands up and go, they will come up with something amazing that'll blow my mind, because that's what happens every time, and I feel like that's kind of what happened with the Grand Warden. I finally predicted something correctly by not predicting. People said, "This is going to be will it be a wizard hero, goblin hero, healer hero?" And I was like, "No, it'll be something that none of us could think of."
Yeah.
And I really think that's what they've come up with.
Yeah, it's true. Like when I went there for the first time, I was just, this is a little anecdote I share, but it's just it really, surmises the whole experience. But like just looking around at the people working and some of the programmers, and these are the people you don't hear from. I mean, the only person we've heard from publicly is Jonas from the dev team, but there's obviously a big team of these guys, or a small team, I should say, of these guys. And I just observed one of them, Galadon, just like coding, I guess. And the speed at which this guy was typing away or doing whatever he was doing, I was just mind-boggling, like just codes. And I was like, wow, this is like some serious, it was just like unbelievable.
We always like refer to it like the Matrix.
Exactly.
Like in the Matrix.
Exactly. It's pretty intense.
Crazy. It's really over our heads.
Yeah. I did want to ask you about your interview with Jonas a little bit more, before we move on from War, just because that was one of the interviews that wasn't audio. You just kind of did the Q&A on your channel. Or you shared the answers to your questions. I was curious as to, like, going into that interview, did you prepare a list of questions, and did he surprise you with any of the questions? I know he touched a little bit about the possibility of future, like, tournament ideas.
Yeah. Jonas wasn't real comfortable with a lot of my questions. Some of them were kind of hard. Some of them were answers that he knew that not everybody was going to want to hear, because there were some tough questions, and Pat asked some tough questions too.
Yeah.
And but that's what we're about. I mean, ultimately, when at the end of the day, all of our channels are we're independent, and we do what we do because we love the game and not because Supercell does anything for us. So it was just like, we want to ask the questions that the public wants to hear. And, so Jonas is like squirming as I'm asking him about heroes being upgraded, used in war, and clan war tournaments, and elixir for upgrading lower level walls, all the things that he's just like, oh, well, and it's tough. And it's hard because there's so many different factors that they have to consider. There's so many different things they have to do in order to strike this balance. And obviously, it's always going to leave some people wanting more.
Yeah, he made it sound from your and Pat's interview that he didn't come out and say it, but he did come out and say at ClashCon, Jonas, that they're really interested in a possible tournament or different type of war feature. And although he did say, it seemed to me like I'm putting words in his mouth, but it seemed to me that he did kind of definitively say that no heroes upgrading being used in wars, but he did kind of allude to the fact that it might be a feature in a new war system. Is that the kind of the feel you got too?
Yeah, and that was the general message I got.
Yeah.
They talked about, and a lot of people want like exhibition style wars. I mean, a lot of hardcore war players don't care that much. They don't care at all about the loot.
Yeah.
And even the clan experience is minimal. It's more about bragging rights, about amassing war stars and that sort of thing. And so the idea of them adding some sort of exhibition style matches where it wouldn't be for loot, wouldn't be for clan XP. It'd be more for bragging rights and maybe some sort of rankings. Those clan wars or tournaments or whatever is implemented would definitely, as Jonas put, those would definitely have the heroes available even if they were upgrading.
Yeah, I gotta ask, do you think that if they do, in theory, come up with a way to rank people properly, clans and people properly, do you think this Clash of Clans could be a viable e-gaming sport like we see League of Legends, other games that are really popular? Do you think Clash of Clans has that possibility?
Well, I think that in the current state it's in, no. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, it's not, it's the clan war formats that we've done on the live streams is more exciting than a clan war obviously in the game right now. But again, I think it's an evolution. I think that we're getting closer and closer to something that could be that way. And I know there's been some controversy in social media about, Clash is trying to be esports. And it's not really it's not like they're just trying to jump into esports, but maybe there is a possibility for that down the road with changes to the clan war style formats. Obviously, it needs to be faster paced. The matchups need to be super close. And if there's clutch attacks and clutch moments in attacks, that's what people are going to want to see. That's what's going to get people excited, draw more viewers in, and make it a true esports style attraction.
Yeah.
And so again, I really feel like Supercell was kind of beta testing the whole thing with us this whole past year. And so and I've even talked to Jonas about this. They took all this information, they went back to their offices, and now they're compiling it, they're looking at it, and they're seeing what they can do to make it better and what the next step is. And so we just have to kind of, rub our hands together and go, what are they going to come up with next?
Yeah, I'm excited. I really hope that it does happen in the future, and it sounds like like you said, it sounds like they're hoping that it does. So I'm excited. I'm so competitive, and I would absolutely love it, But yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm curious, just to wrap up here, do you have any overall impression on the update so far? I know you said you don't like to speculate beforehand and say it's the best or the worst, but as far as where your expectations were a month ago, say, and how it's kind of unraveling, I guess, before our eyes as a community, what are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, it's funny because I could see it. You could graph it with that this excitement level was just so high right around ClashCon. Everybody was ready, and then it started to trail off as we had to wait a little bit longer. And then it was like, okay, sneak peeks are going to start on Monday. And then the sneak peeks really had a lot of people worried. A lot of people were upset, obviously. And now I feel like the attitude is improving. People maybe are coming around to have faith that the developers have this under control. And I mean, really the big thing behind this whole update seems to be this change in the shield system and the town hall. And for me, common sense tells me, and I could be wrong, but it just seems to be the way that I'm leaning, is that if you eradicate town hall sniping, you open up just an untold amount of loot for farmers and trophies for trophy hunters, that these bases were out of matchmaking because they would go into matchmaking and literally in seconds get sniped, they're gone. And if you're a trophy pusher, I don't care if there's 2 million loot available in that village, it's getting the town hall sniped and I'm moving on to the next one. Exactly. And so, that's a 1 trophy for me, -1 trophy, 12-hour shield for that guy. He saved his million loot that he could have lost. He saved his 24 trophies he might have lost if somebody else had gone for him, because that same base with a town hall inside that's worth 1 trophy, I click next. And so, maybe it's going to be a few players in the queue before he gets a slightly higher trophy level offer, or it's a farmer that finds him. And so I feel like that injection of all these bases into farming and trophy hunting is going to be a huge change. And the big thing for me is the farmers say, well, then we're going to lose all this loot. You're going to make us defend more. But I feel like, and again, it's maybe, putting the cart before the horse, but I feel like what's going to happen is, yes, you will lose a little more loot than you did before if you graphed it out. But you will, if you manage your shield correctly, have an opportunity to gain more loot than you're losing. And the poor analogy that I keep using is taxes have gone up, but wages have gone up across the board. And you might pay 50% more in tax, but you're getting paid twice as much. And it should work out. Now, again, it's all predictions, and I could be wrong, but I just, I'm crossing my fingers.
No, I've been saying the same thing on my channel as folks know who are listening, is that I agree with you 100%. I think that's actually a good analogy to make because, yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're going to have to go on defense. You're definitely going to be losing more loot than you do now if you're riding the shields. But at the same time, like you said, I mean, you have the opportunity. Savvy players will adjust and take advantage of the new system, you know? So
exactly. I mean,
yeah, I think the opportunity is certainly there, but I want to be respectful of your time. You've already been going about 25 minutes, so we'll wrap it up here, but I just want to thank you again for coming on. A lot of people don't know that you really are a huge voice for the more hardcore players behind the scenes, and you yourself are, you know, this is not totally, you know, blowing smoke up your ass or anything, but you were the guy there, I think, out of all the people I met. I mean, everybody obviously very incredibly passionate about the game, not taking anything away from anybody else, but you were the guy there, I think, playing more than, like, actually pulling out the iPad more than anybody else, you know? So
well, it's funny. I mean, I always say people ask about, you know, the key behind starting a good YouTube channel, and I feel like it's a necessity. You have to love what you're doing, and you have to love the game, and I've loved Clash from day one, and I still love it. And I think that's a big part of it, is maybe that comes through in my videos. You know, watching your videos, I see the same thing in you, and that's the cool thing. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you and I clicked so well in Finland when we met for the first time.
Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate the kind words, and I'm sure people enjoyed this conversation. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Ash, for having me.
All right, take care, man.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Hey, guys, thanks for watching my video. Just a few ways you can help the channel out. Number 1, like. Number 2, subscribe. And number 3, comment. Tell me what you think of the video. I really appreciate it, guys, and it really helps me out a lot. Also, you can find me on social media. I'm active every day on Twitter at @clash_with_ash and on Bindle chat group #ClashWithAsh. And as always, you can find me on my website at www.clashwithash.com. Thanks, guys.